Installing vinyl plank flooring seems like one of those DIY jobs that anyone can do until you try it. And then suddenly the planks won't line up, the seams won't click together, and everything keeps shifting around. If you've been there, I get it. It happens to all of us, and some more than others. Over the years, I've installed vinyl flooring in everything from single bedrooms to full house renovations, and I've made just about every mistake you can make. From trusting instructions printed inside the box to following advice that sounded right but just didn't work in real life. Today, I'm going to share with you 12 real-world tips that'll make your vinyl plank installation go smoother, faster, and with less frustration, whether this is your first job or your 10th job. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a way that you can see what your actual floor would look like with vinyl plank before you install anything. So let's get into it. So tip number 1 is prepare the subfloor. Cleanliness is crucial, and before you even open a box of vinyl plank, make sure your subfloor is clean, dry, and level. And I'm not talking about just sweeping. I mean really getting in there with a shop vac, checking for high spots or dips, and removing every little bit of dust or debris. Even a nail or a pebble left behind can cause a soft spot or a raised edge in your finished floor. So don't skip these steps. It sets the stage for everything else and it'll stop a lot of frustration. Tip number 2, acclimate the flooring. Vinyl planks may look solid, but they expand and contract just like any other material, and sometimes more. That's why you need to let them sit in the room that they'll be installed in for at least 48 hours and keep them stacked flat in the room out of direct sunlight. This allows the planks to adjust to the temperature and humidity of the space, which helps prevent buckling or gapping later on. And if you're one that likes to open the windows in the hot summer and in the cold winter and see a big difference, variation in your temperature in your house, you're going to see a lot more movement than most. Tip number 3, measure and plan your layout. Now, take some time to measure your room carefully and think through your layout. You want to run planks parallel to the longest wall. Normally that's the best way. A good rule of thumb is to go ahead and just put 4 or 5 of the planks together and measure them, and then measure your room and see where all those planks are going to end up at. You don't want to end up on the last plank of just being an inch or a half an inch. You want to divide it up. And check to see if the walls are square, which normally they're not square. But see if there's one wall, let's say on the left side. I like to start on the left side, and if you're working your way down, if that wall is running out at an angle, you want to compensate for that at first because you don't want to keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller pieces toward that side of the wall. Now tip number 4 is stagger the seams. A lot of times people will put the seams the same every 2 rows. I like to stagger them every 3 rows. Not only does this give your floor a more natural look and a hardwood-like appearance, but it also helps the planks lock together more securely. Now tip number 5, when you're buying your flooring, you can buy them with a pad already attached, or you can buy it without the pad. Normally without the pad, it's a lot cheaper, but then you have to buy an underlayment or a pad underneath of it, cut it, it comes in rolls, taped together, and it is just so much more work than what's necessary. To me, it's not worth it. After I've used flooring like this one here that already comes with an underlayment on it, it's so much easier. You'll never go back to the type where you have to put the padding down underneath of it. Now tip number 6, when I learned this and started using this method, it made it a whole different ballgame. And that is by securing the first row during your installation. Now, I like to lay my whole first row out along the wall and then go ahead and start putting the second row onto it. Then you can take that and move it back and forth till you get it in the position you want it, which is about 1/4 of an inch away from the wall. And then I take drywall screws and I go ahead and drill it through just toward the edge of the first row That way it secures that from ever moving. Now this is after you have it all in place where your floor is going to be. And what that does is it gives you the ability to go ahead and push against it, make all your connections secure. And remember, these screws are just temporary. Once you have the whole floor down, you'll remove those screws, and when you put your base trim on, it's going to hide the holes that you made screwing those down. And this keeps that first row from ever shifting as you install the next rows. And once you get 2 or 3 rows, what I do, I like to take all my boxes of unopened flooring and put them on top of that first 2 rows. It weighs down the planks, keeps everything nice and tight, it gets them out of your way, and it helps everything to keep it solid in place so it's not going to be moving around on you. Tip number 7, cut the planks accurately. I like to use a flooring cutter. Yeah, you can use a utility knife or a jigsaw to cut the planks. Now for areas that go around doors and I have to notch out, I do use a jigsaw, or I even use my multi-tool cutter. But if you're going to do more than just a small area, invest in a vinyl plank cutter. These give you clean, straight cuts with no dust, and they're much faster for repetitive cuts too. You just mark the area you want it, slide it inside there, it keeps it at a perfect 90-degree angle, pull the handle down, and it cuts the vinyl plank perfectly. It's one of those tools that pays for itself quickly if you're doing a few rooms or more. And tip number 8, always keep that floor and the seams clean while you're working. You not only clean the first initial time, but as I'm working, I'll go ahead and brush away with my hand, or I'll use one of these little air blowing tools. It's a rechargeable one, and just keep all the dirt out of there. So the more you can keep it clean, the better off. I also use a soft brush like this. I just keep it next to me. Keeping these joints clean is key to getting a tight fit every time. And number 9 is remember to always leave that expansion gap around the edges. You always want to leave about a 1/4 of an inch gap, and that's usually what the manufacturer recommends, around the perimeter of the room to allow for any natural expansion or contraction. Now, I don't like using the spacers because the spacers fall out. Like I said before, screw it down, keep it in there, and you can kind of eyeball on the sides while you're doing your rows how far the 1/4 inch is once you start doing it more often. It doesn't have to be exactly, but make it really close. Now, tip number 10, depending on what the manufacturer is, shuffle the planks around. That way you avoid any pattern repeats. A lot of vinyl plank products, they have a repeating grain or a print pattern, and if you install them right out of the box in the order they come, you're going to end up looking like the same board pattern right next to each other, and that'll stick out like a sore thumb. So lay out several planks at a time, shuffle them around, and mix different boxes so you can get a more natural random look. A lot of the higher end vinyl planks, they actually move the pattern on there so you don't have 2 of them. They're going to look the same, which really helps a lot. Now, tip number 11, this goes against what the manufacturer recommends, and I've tried it every way, and this works the best way for me, but I install the short end first and then the long side. Because so often I've installed the long side like they recommend, and then they say put it together on the short side, take a rubber hammer and tap along there, and as you're doing that, they'll chip and split on you, and it's horrible. Then you got to pull it out, throw it away, and start with a new plank again. Another trick I use on it, not only do I install the short side first, but I take a piece of wax. It could be like a little candle wax, or you can pick up wax at the store and just rub it along that edge real lightly. What that'll do, when you take the short end, you'll want to bend it up, slide it inside the other plank, and then go ahead and lower it down. And I usually like to do it about 1/8 of an inch or even 1/16 of an inch close to the other long edge of the plank, as you can see in this picture. And as you do that, by having the wax on there, you're able to move that little bit and hammer it in so it locks in place. If you don't have that wax on the side, it locks in place and that thing will not move. So once you do that, you don't have to worry about it sliding out of place because you're only putting just a small amount on there. Also, when you're tapping in place, don't use one of those plastic tappers that you can buy from the store or order online. Those things, I have chipped more planks by using those. They're very slick, they slip off, and they are a pain. The easiest and best way is to cut a piece of the plank, and that's where that cutter comes in so easy. Cut a whole bunch of them. That way you have them, put them inside the groove, put it down, take a hammer and tap it in. I've never had a plank chip or break while using that, but I've had a lot of them by using those cheap plastic vinyl tappers that they have. Tip number 12, I always undercut the door jambs. I take a piece of scrap vinyl flooring, put it down, and I use my multi-tool, lay it on there, cut underneath the door jamb, and get a nice clean cut so you can slide your vinyl underneath of it. And I cut the casing and the door jamb together. But if you're having trouble installing, sometimes that casing will get in the way, and it's easier just to pull it off, put your vinyl floor down, and then go ahead and reinstall the casing around the door. And now for your bonus tip. If you're wanting to see what the vinyl plank flooring is going to look like in your room before you ever put anything down or move any piece of furniture, there's a lot of free virtual reality apps on the internet that you can go to, take a picture of your room, and it'll show you what different colors, different types of flooring will look on in your room, and they are so nice to use. This is one I've used a lot. It's by Baker Brothers. They have an app on their website called Roomvo, and you don't have to download anything. All you have to do is take a picture of your room, upload it onto their app, and then just choose the type of flooring that you want. Press the flooring, and it shows it underneath all your furniture, shows you what the room looks like, and you can even switch the direction to see what's going to look more aesthetically better to your eye if you want the horizontal or vertical way. It's a great app. It'll save you a lot of frustration. You don't want to get a whole floor down and just look at it and say, ooh, I wish I'd have chose a different color. So there you go. 12 proven tips to make your vinyl plank installation smoother, faster, and a whole lot less frustrating. If you've got a flooring job coming up, I hope this helps you knock it out with confidence. Let me know in the comments down below if you've got any questions or if there's a flooring tip that you have that would help others. We all learn from each other, and the comments help a lot. And don't forget to check out my other videos. I'll put a playlist up here that you can press, because there might be just the video you need to finish that project you're working on or you're getting ready to start. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And be sure to check out my Amazon storefront and the product links in the video description. It helps out the channel, and I appreciate you using them. Thanks for watching. You take care, and God bless.